numerals? What is the 10 in Roman numerals? Roman numerals, what's the 10? X. It's like a classroom, right? X, okay? So you don't think it's odd that last year there was a big shootout remember, you think that the Asian demographics doesn't do rituals as well. They have their own ritual system. They have their own magical system. You don't think that last year could have been a test run, like a beta test, to see if there could be something? I'm not saying that the people who were assassinated weren't done so for purposefully, but you don't think that was a beta test for sleeper cells that would be activated? Now, let's take in consideration, what does 11 usually mean? 11 usually means a gateway, right? Remember, 11 is like a gateway, a vortex, an opening. How is it that you're having the Chinese New Year's on X, on the 10th, Saturn Day? And you know a lot of murders and things happen on Saturn Day. That Saturn Day is a day you don't want to do many things because murders happen on Saturday. If there's going to be a murder, most of it will happen on Saturday. Saturn Day on the 10th is February 10th is the Chinese New Year's. But guess what's the day after, y'all? Guess what's the day after? Super Bowls. Super Bowls, y'all. So now you have a ritualized day that is connected to all these X's. Remember, all these Elon Musk and all of them, they talk to one another. This is how they use the language. They change the things because they're giving clues to their compadre, their Satanist compadres. Okay? So they're giving all these codes to each other. Now you have a ritualized day, which is February 10th, which kicks off the dragon, the earth dragon. We talked about this on Zoom, making sure that your feng shui was on point, okay? For the Zoomies, I will have I'll give the feng shui again of what needs to be done to remedy, okay? So on the ritualized 10, which is the X, it's going to be on Saturn Day. And then you have on the 11th, the Super Bowls, which is a predictive programming game. Remember, they're talking about everybody knew who was going to play in the game. You thinking about that? And then also, it's Super Bowls. There's something with a 13. Haru said it. Something else that has to do with the 13th, the day after. 49ers, which is a 13, which amplifies the 11th, y'all. Oh, 49ers versus the Chiefs, y'all, which is an amplifier because it's 49, which is a 13. So I'm just saying, y'all, if I had to think of a false flag and I had to really think about it, I would really say that the kickoff of the Chinese New Year's with the dragon, the Earth Dragon, might literally be the amplifier or the false flag kickoff that may happen on the Super Bowls. We got a lot of things going on at once. And you got Usher. Listen to his name, Usher of all people. So he's ushering the 1311 coming in the neck of the woods. I'm just saying, I could be wrong. I could be mentally ill. I'm not saying I know any better, but I'm just saying that's a lot of numbers that seem to be connected to the Satanist clues and little bits of puzzle pieces that they put out there. Now, if you didn't know what happened last year with the Asian rogue lone wolf, they call them lone wolves, these lone wolf Asian men that were shooting up places. And then you hear about the fact that I told you why you should have the purple lights, is that all of a sudden you have all of these Chinese Xinhua coming into the country, being set up all over the place. And this guy did an interview, big up to him, I think he was on Alex Jones. He talked to another Chinese guy that's set up in Panama City, and he asked the Chinese guy, he's like, is there a lot of spies and like terrorists coming in from China? He said, absolutely. This is their own people saying that. So really in itself, y'all, I would really pay attention to the X, which is a 10th. I don't know if it's I'm looking at the cylindrical pattern. We're in a simulation. You know, we're in a simulation where things are generally looping, like, you know, things come in a cylindrical pattern. I just denote last year, I'm looking at these fake channels with fake whistleblowers who never bring up last year. They'll probably bring it up after my channel because, you know, they watch me. Big up to all the Agent Smiths who like to watch my channel. I'm such an antagonizer. So I'm just saying that X marks the spot, 10-10 wins, all that. I just, you know, share, yes, you're right. Leap year, it's another leap year too. So Super Bowls is an energy. This is Lionsgate opened season, like July 27. I'm chasing the X's. X marks the spot. I'm just saying we could just find out another, what is it, another week? When is it coming up, y'all? When's the 10th? The 10th is like in 1 week, right? We have like 1 week or 2 weeks. Huh? Yeah, we have like another week to go. Okay? I'm just saying, and then we got the Texas Eagle Run. So let's go into the weaponized weed. Be careful eating any of the food right now. You got the chinois all up in the water sources, okay? And did you realize what happened in, was it China? Oh, wait, I forgot about that. I forgot to talk about it. Wait a second. Darn, how could I forget to tell you that? You do know that there was this thing called rain asthma. It was in China. They were calling it asthma that was caused. And people were getting rain on them, and they were getting asthma reactions, like water in their lungs, like weird inhalation issues. And they were calling it rain asthma. It was happening in China. And then there was another reporter, there was a person who did the research, and they found out it wasn't that the rain was causing it, it was the radiation in the rain that was causing people to have this reaction. So the fact of the matter is, radiation wheat, which is basically like having weaponized water, could be all in the water sources. And a lot of times when people are getting like coughs, the forever coughs, that's all forms of like fungi, like mold buildup. You don't realize you have a lot of mold in your system. Okay, a lot of the mold, and mold is amplified by radiation. A lot of spores go buck wild when there's a lot of radiation. So it's important for everyone to realize, be careful walking, and you've got to filter out your water. If you're still getting your water sources for Willy Wonka, all they got to do is, that's what I'm saying in the hood, y'all need to get out of the cities. Because listen, if you have the same, I remember years ago, and this is when real YouTube was really buck wild, like it was Bruck up in here, when you have real whistleblowers that were just not on here trying to sell their merch. The guy was like, yo, all they had to do is, if they didn't like you and your people, all they did was they closed off one pipe and they put certain kind of water into certain neighborhoods. So as long as they can control the water sources and where water goes, they can bet very much, as long as, that's why they don't want you having rain barrels. That's why it's illegal for you to start a well without getting permission from your governmental systems. You cannot go and tap your well. You know how easy it is to tap a well? Big up to all my preppers up in here. It is real easy. I've got the 8-foot well. There's a wonderful lunar woman. She is so cute. She's out in she has like a triangle house. Some of you may know her. I forgot her name. She's really cute. I like to watch her sometimes. She's like my guilty pleasure. She goes out in like the woods and she taps her own well. She's so cute. She's like a little blondie, cute little sassy little thing. She goes out and she taps her well. She made it, and then she got a pump on it too. She did it all by herself. I'm sure but she did it, and she put a filter on it. Do you know how easy it is to do that? But guess what? Willy Wonka in his League of Doom said it's illegal for you to go and tap your own well. And you do know you can go into free springs. It was Akashic. I think it was you, Akashic. I don't know if Akashic is here. Akashic was the one who told us there's a site. Does anyone know the site? It's like you can find out all the spring water that are tapped, and you can go and get free water from them. Oh yes, does she? No, she doesn't have dreadlocks. She's like a little blonde, a little cutie pie. She's so adorable. Like, I don't know if she's like in her 50s and 60s. She's not young. Find a Spring. Thank you, Empress. You can actually go to Find a Spring, and you can go and find it and go fill up your water bottles. FYI, okay? And those aren't controlled by Willy Wonka, and you could test them and everything. But what I would do is I would really encourage everybody to test your water for radiation now. Just like we tested the walls, that you test the walls, now you have another form of testing that I would just really challenge you to do. Get your radiation testers and test your water for radiation before, even if you tap it and get it from a free spring. Find a spring. Thank you, Empress, and thank you, Survive L3. This is a thing, because Akashic had told us about it. I think it was Akashic. I think it was. Find a spring and make sure that you go and get your own fresh water. It's springs all over the place. I really think, wait, you watch her, She's of the Woods, great info. I love her. She's like one of, it's her, it's her and another, remember, I like Itchy Boots. Y'all, I'm a Sag. I like to watch one of the Sages. Like, they're very Saggy energy. I like when they go and do all this. I like to see women go and do stuff like that. It's like I enjoy it. I'm really encouraged, and I love doing that. I like watching them. Anyway, if you see her channel, if somebody can, I don't know her personally. I just love her channel. She goes out there and she goes and taps. When I saw how easy it was for her to tap a well, y'all, I was like, what the freak? No wonder they won't let us do it. It's illegal. They don't want you having your own personal water source, because that means you aren't going to be as easily influenced when they're pumping chemicals and poisons all up in your water and cucarachas. Because a lot of times you got to think, when you see a whole bunch of, why are they able to test all the they're always able to test all the sewer water, so they could tell if they're getting the right dose of poison up into people, because they test the sewer water, and they can really define it to certain areas. It can specify to certain areas. I'm not telling you to do anything illegal, y'all. But listen, the United States is illegal right now. It is broke up right now. Texas, let me give a shout out to my Texans. Y'all about to secede, or I already know you did, but just for the facade of you seceded now. Big up to all my Texans. That's why all the corporations were moving to Texas. Do you remember that, y'all? But where are your Intellis? Remember, like 2 years ago, all these corporations were moving up into Texas? Do you remember that? Right? Remember when they were all moving to Texas? We're like, why are all the corporations? You know why? Because they got the FYI, y'all. They knew that they were going to secede. So they got the bulletin. And I'm not telling you to move to Texas, but I'm just telling you, from my understanding, Texas already seceded. And they got their own currency going on. And also, I heard, word on the curb, that's from Alicia. I didn't get that phrase. That's from Alicia. Word on the curb is that Russia, the BRICS, and Mexico are all working together with Texas. So Texas already got his homeboys and homegirls working on their accord. And I heard, word on the curb, is that Florida is down as well. But I don't know. I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I'm just a maniac. Let me just say this again. I'm a maniac. This is a skit. This is a comedy. I'm not truthful. I'm a liar. I'm crazy. I'm mentally ill. I'm I'm dummy. I'm stupid. I just got to put that in there. I got to put these little things in here. Okay? Because, when they come for me, I got to say, well, I told you it was a comedy skit. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you that. Anyway, so what I would say to everybody, I would be really mindful the radiation water. And literally, when I heard China had a town where they were actually naming it, they called it asthma rain. And then the person tested it and found out it wasn't that the rain was causing asthma. It was the radiation in the water molecules causing the people's bodies to react as if they were exposed to radiation. So I just, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying, if you go out in the rain, I would cover up. Remember our old school our umbrellas? Oh, I loved it. I was a little girl. Remember our umbrellas were they looked like little, clear colored, they looked like you were in a little tunnel. I forgot what they're called. Remember our umbrellas, I loved it as a little girl. I forgot what it's called. Our umbrellas were like little flutes. They looked like they were bowed in. I have one in the car. You better put on them radiation rain suits. And don't you think it's odd that all these places were raining at one point? Now listen, I also want to bring up the fact that during that whole time where California was getting tons of rain, there was a homeboy who was growing, was it apricots? No, it wasn't apricots. It was some sort of, it wasn't dates. It wasn't apricots. Was it apricots? I don't know what he was growing. I can't remember. Bubble umbrellas, VK. You remember that? I remember as a little girl. Remember that? I loved it. I got one in the car. Okay, so he was growing apricots, and he noticed that during the time or figs. I think it was figs. I don't remember, y'all. Anyway, he was in California at the time, and he said he went outside after it rained, and it burned. It had burn marks on his fruit. He said after it rained, like acid rain. You got to think what acid rain really is. Is it chemicalized rain, or could it be a form of radiation? Because radiation has kind of like it burn marks as well. So I'm just saying, y'all, listen, the radiation wheat, it's my opinion that they're radiating the food. And there isn't any way, because you know I'm a thickums, and I told you I'm getting in shape with my homeboy who's going to work me out, because I told you I'm going to listen to the men to work me out like G.I. Jane. I'm going to be G.I. Fleur Brun. He's going to make me do some calisthenics. Big up to him. Calisthenics. I can't do pull-ups yet. I'm at least do a couple pull-ups, okay? I'm getting in shape, because I told you we going to be like the purge. You're going to be running. Run, Fleur, run. You know what I mean? So I'm getting in shape for this. But there isn't any way that you should be able to lose 5 pounds of pure inflammation and water weight. There isn't any way. You know what I'm saying? How are you losing that weight? Because as soon as I stopped, you lost 30 pounds. Congratulations, Marshmallow. You're going to have to change your name, Marshmallow. You're not going to be Marshmallowy anymore. Big up to Marshmallow, who lost 30 pounds. Go ahead. Don't say lost, you shed, because when you lose something, you always find it back. I learned that from words the other day, right? Be careful saying lost, because that means it could be found. You shed. Congratulations, Marshmallow. You shed it. Go ahead, Mama. Go ahead. Let's not forget the frog. Listen, I'm still a trans frog, but I'm going to be translucent in a minute. You ain't going to be able to see me. You know what I'm saying? Calisthenics is better to do. I think calisthenics in itself is better for the body, especially for women's sport. So, you know, forms of calisthenics, I'm a dancer. So doing like Pilates gives you the best body, and dancing. Swimming is a great thing as well. I think for women, we got to be very careful in how we engage with our body. In calisthenics, you actually build better muscle. It's like more long muscle, and it helps you burn. So I'll be doing that. You know what I mean? I gotta listen, y'all. I gotta try. You know, I'm thick, but I gotta be able. You know, it's cute to be thick when you can lie on the couch and just enjoy yourself. But when you got I gotta be a little quick. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be able to run up some stairs and get on a bike. So you know, being thick at a point where you going into war times. That isn't that ain't the right thing to do. So I just say that everyone be really careful with your water sources. I would really, because most people filter out their water with certain things, but are you filtering it out from radiation? Like, that's another conversation. We're going to have that conversation on Thursday on Zoom. Can you put that in the conversation? We're going to find ways to avert radiation that comes through the waterways. There's a way to do it. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do. We always figure it out. We got to figure it out. And also on Thursday, who's ever joining in, we're doing because we know on the 10th, they're probably going to do a ritual on the 10th and 11th. We're going to do our protection ritual with our candles. So whoever's joining us on Thursday, that's what we're doing. So just I'll have everything that you need to bring in, because we got to do that. Because listen, the 10th after last year, the kicking off the New Year's, and this is a dragon. Shungite, good idea. Nicole has a good idea. Shungite, that's right. Zombieland rule. There's this guy does this. I don't know where he does it. I love this. You guys see it all the time, right? They have these great classes. I like to dance. I love dancing. There's these dance. I think it's in Atlanta. You guys have the best. Let me big up to Atlanta, Georgia. I get jealous. Let me tell you. Can I confess something? I'm really jealous. Y'all have like the hair washers who like put the steam on your hair and the herb bath, and then you guys have the workout classes where these sexy guys are like doing dances, and you do like hip hop when you're doing a step. I get jealous of y'all. Did I ever tell you that? I am. I'm really, really jealous. I see it. I'm like, why the heck didn't I move to Georgia, for God's sake? Maybe because the men are, and he was masculine. He just made you want to work out. You see him, like, some of you know what I'm talking about, right? When a guy makes you do the dances. Oh, also, back in the days when we had copper pipes and also silver pipes, That also averted the radiation in the water. Thank you. Some of you have some great ideas. Yeah. So whoever's in Atlanta, Atlanteans, y'all got some fun stuff going on over there. That's the only thing we had some good stuff, but Atlanta people like to have fun. Y'all, yeah, you look real masculine, but I didn't say he was masculine. He just looked masculine. You never know. I mean, Atlanta got some things going on over there because they putting stuff in the water source. I talked about the gay bombs. Y'all get insulted. Look it up. See, the problem is that you think that I'm disrespecting you because you're a gay man. That has nothing to do with it. But if you found out the only reason that you're gay is because they weaponized water and chemicals to bring in that that disposition within you in your mother's womb or outside the womb. So don't get mad at the messenger. I would sue the government. This is my personal thing. If you are a homosexual male and you live in Atlanta or places where you feel like your mother was being, or Flint, or your mother was being chemicalized and your disposition, and mothers, if you have a gay son that's 20 years or a little, like up to 30, I would sue the government. Because I'm telling you that they have those things. They did them in Afghanistan. They did it in Vietnam. They did it in a lot of places. You just think I'm saying it to be disrespectful. It isn't the natural disposition for men to be with other men. That is a fact. It isn't the natural disposition. But when you have it at a heightened amount, like when a number is like boasted up out of the blue, you know that it is most likely being helped along with some form of bioweaponry. Just you can look it up. You can look at them and see what they've done. So you just really in itself, you have to understand there is an incentive to having men being with only other men. First of all, it's for population control, because they're not having babies, okay? And also, it makes men more feminine and less likely to protect their tribes or their neighborhoods or to protect their own children. So it just works for the government. So that's what I'm saying, them pushing it, you have to realize I'm not attacking any gay men, but I'm telling you, if it is working in accord with the agendas of the government, you gotta ask the question, why? Gotta ask the question, why? It isn't a natural propensity for men to be with other men. And also, if you look at the men that are very feminine, they have big bum-bums, they have breasts. That means that they've been chemicalized as some sort of bioweapon that have actually changed their physicality. Men shouldn't have big bum-bums. Even brown men, they have muscular bum-bums. Listen, I grew up with men that are very masculine. Okay, so our men in the parks, like when they used to play basketball or sports or football, they had nice, round, bums, but very masculine, like very muscular. Like thighs were muscular. Woo! I love growing up in Generation X, y'all. We used to go to the park, and that was like a buffet. Woo! Thank God my parents raised me with some ethics, boy, because the men used to have no shirts on. It smelled like pheromones. Oh my God, as a young